You are the slave to a system that was designed to keep us asleep, a matrix that was designed to keep us in boxes, to keep us hopeless, and to keep us from remembering our true power and remembering why we're here. Why do you think they want us to be in cubicles all day long, not having the sun touch our skin, not letting our feet touch the earth, covering the earth with cement, disconnecting us from our source, not letting our roots touch the earth and become grounded like we're supposed to be, not letting our bodies heal naturally, and providing all of these systems that are here to not make us happy. They're not here to make us happy. They're here to keep us asleep, like our jobs, like school, like the healthcare system, all of it. There's an ulterior motive. I know a lot of people think it's all to help us and create order, but no, there's an ulterior motive. They could have done things different. They could have done things better, but they didn't. They did things that would make them the most money and to keep us under control, to keep us from realizing our true power, because we are so powerful. We are literally gods, because we have the power to change our reality. We are one with source, the collective consciousness that everything comes from. Source. Some people call it God. Some people call it the universe. Whatever you want to call it, it's still the same idea. It's the idea of a creator, a oneness that we are all connected with.
America is the richest country in the world, where dreams come true, a land of opportunity. But for millions of Americans, that dream feels like a nightmare. Despite working full-time, many people cannot afford basic necessities. The system was never designed to help them win. It was designed in a way to keep the rich richer and the majority struggling paycheck to paycheck. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing so you never miss any update from my videos. Let's dive into it.
Everything is so expensive right now, and I don't understand how people aren't talking about it. We don't make enough money. Collectively, we do not make enough money. The price of things are not keeping up with how much we're getting paid. And it's infuriating to me for people to say that people just need to work harder, people need to get different specialized degrees, people need to start their own businesses. That's not the answer. The answer is that billionaires are hoarding wealth. And this system is set up to fail. And I'm just infuriated by it. I can't get ahead. Every month I try to get ahead and I can't get ahead. And I don't know how to cope with that. I don't know how to cope with that. Everything is so expensive, especially in the last 6 months. I can barely get by. So I don't know how I'm supposed to retain hope. Am I supposed to get a doctorate so that I can afford a studio apartment? Is that where we're getting to at this point? I don't know what the answer is to this, but it's so fucking bad. And I just wanted to get on here and tell you, if you are experiencing the same thing, you're so not alone. Everything is so expensive and it's infuriating to me.
Seems like living in the United States, you're just set up to fail. There's no way to win, okay? So I just thought about that when I was making my credit card payment. You got a $5,000 balance on the credit card. Your payment's $149. Half that money goes to interest. Then you're stuck with what, 60 or 70 bucks, maybe? And then the next month, you got to use the money again because you're broken. You got to put gas in your car. You got to buy groceries. So it's you can't get ahead. No matter what you do, you can't ever get ahead. You're constantly behind, okay? You get in the cycle of credit cards and you can't ever get out. It's like a trap. It's a game. It's a game that you're played, and once you get in that cycle, you just can't get out no matter how hard you try. I've tried, but my balances are always at the max, and I can't get them down because the minute I make a payment, you got to use that little bit you have left after the interest, and you're right back up again to the maximum amount. And what do? You don't have any extra money. You have just enough money to pay your bills and stay broke and continue to get more broke. And that's where we're at.
Hey, what's up, America? Being poor in America. So I want to talk about how difficult it is to get out of poverty here in the United States, specifically if you're already homeless. So let's start with a person that's homeless, because you'll find out quickly it's impossible to get out of homelessness almost, as long as you're living in America. So when you're homeless, you have no place to live, you can't wash your clothes, you have no internet, generally no phone, and of course no means of conveyance like a car or any type of vehicle. And generally, if you're homeless, your credit score is in the shitter. So the first thing you'll want to do when you're getting out of homelessness, of course, is find a job and a place to live. But of course, you can't find a place to live without a job, right? Because every place in America that you rent has to have 3 times the income. So if it's $1,500 a month, you have to make $4,500 a month to live there. So generally, if you're going to be living in an apartment anywhere, you're going to have to pony up $2,000 to $3,000 and have a pretty decent job as well. On top of that, you're going to have a phone number for someone to call you back. That could be as little as $20 a month or as much as a couple hundred, depending on who you go through. Of course, you got to have good credit. That's right, the old credit score boogeyman has come out to get you once again. Of course, if you've ever been charged with anything, you're not going to be living anywhere. Don't forget about $600 or $800 you need for clothing, shoes. Probably need a car too if you live somewhere outside of a major American city like New York, Chicago, or LA, because there's no public transport, you see. And so I would estimate to get out of homelessness, you would need anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 in cash, plus a good credit score, something that homeless people will never find. And then of course the rest of it is just basically you floating along, trying not to sink into poverty, working constantly yet never gaining either, right? So you're sitting there barely above water and you can feed your family and you can pay for everything, but you have no money left over for vacation, no money left over for any other expenses except the basic necessities. That's most of America, right? So in order to get out of poverty, you'd have to triple your income immediately or have the super wealthy help you. And since that'll never happen, we're stuck in this daily grind where if we stop, we'll be homeless. And if we get into homelessness, you can't get out of it. A little cushion financially would be very helpful, but that's not conducive to the government, because if they give you a cushion, you might experience freedom, and you're not allowed to do that here. Because you see, here in America, money buys freedom. That's unfortunate, but true.
Think about it. In a nation with $1 trillion corporation, many full-time workers, they have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. Healthcare is out of reach for millions. Housing skyrocketing. Education, leaving many graduates with decades of debt. This isn't just an economic crisis. It is a structural trap, a cycle that keeps people from ever truly getting ahead. And yet, politicians, they keep selling the same story. Work hard, you're going to make it. But no matter how hard you work, you never get to feel that you're getting out of poverty or going anywhere. So for most people, that promise has expired.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left in my account. The fuck? So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the fuck is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
Just thinking this morning about our country and late stage capitalism and cost of living and how much money everyone has to make to even afford to have a family these days. And it's what, like $250,000 minimum? Yeah, John and I have 2 kids and we don't make close to that. Not even close. Try like at least $100,000 less than that. So
we're barely making it. And we have 2 good, high-paying jobs as an electrical engineer and a nurse. Now, everyone always says, like, they make so much money, you guys should be doing so much better. They don't make that much money, okay? And the fact that the wages haven't gone up with inflation means we've been getting pay cuts basically the last 4 years. So we're not doing okay. Nobody's doing okay in this economy. This is what we're so upset about. And then you add in authoritarianism and fascism on top of that. Like, what kind of country are we leaving for our kids where we teach them it's okay that they go to school and then their friends are missing the next day because they were rounded up by ICE? This is not an okay world. This is what I don't want to leave my kids. This is what I want to protect them from. This is one of the reasons why we're moving to Europe. I'm tired of it. I haven't even touched on healthcare. That's a whole other story that we've spent over $10,000 a year on for the last 4 years. Childcare. $24,000 a year. Just so that I can go to work and not spend time with my kids. It's fucking insane. How does anybody live in this world? Like, how does anybody make that $250,000 every single year to just, like, be okay? I don't know anyone else except for, like, doctors who are doing fine. What are we going towards? What is the end goal here? Like, is anybody else as upset as I am seeing everything that's going on? I mean, I'm just ranting this morning. Sometimes I'm just getting in my thoughts and my feels, and I can't believe that this is the reality that we're living in right now.
Americans are so broke, and they desperately try to justify their brokenness. I always get Americans tell me, but the people in Mexico, they only make $20 a day. You make $25 an hour, and you're still broke. Sure, you drive the newest car, but the bank owns it. It's not yours. Let me see that title. You call yourself a homeowner, but your house is made out of drywall and paper, and you're going to be renting it for 30 years before you even own it. Sure, you went to college, and yeah, sure, you have a degree, but you're going to spend the rest of your life paying for it. Sure, you have the newest iPhone, you have name brand clothing, you have all the nice things, but your credit cards are maxed out. Most of Americans are one paycheck away from being homeless. The United States runs on credit. The United States runs on debt. Americans cannot function without credit. Instead of the United States of America, it should be called the United States of Minimum Payments. But according to Americans, we're the broke ones. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
America's wealth is real, but it is concentrated in the hands of a tiny elite. Majority are left scrambling, competing for scraps in a system that values profit over people. Until that changes, the so-called American dream will remain a dream for the few and only a daily struggle for the many. The question we should be asking is not why people are poor. The question that we should be asking is who benefits from keeping them that way. Because until we confront that truth, the cycle of debt, stress, and survival will never end in America. That's why you see that a majority of Americans, they are depressed. Mental health is on the rise, People are sad. It is because of the emotional toll of trying to survive in a country that keeps them that way. Working for jobs, no social life, nobody to talk to, There's no social life to even talk to your friend about what you're going through. That's why you see most Americans are so vocal on the social apps like TikTok, They come there to pour their hearts out because they have nobody to talk about it. Everyone is working, even for jobs, just to survive in a system that keeps them that way, Because most people are not poor because they don't work. People are working, even doctors, nurses, very professional jobs, but they're still struggling because everything is expensive. The cost of living is insane for the majority. Okay? So until that changes, the cycle of stress, it will never end in America. Homelessness will be worse in America. Okay. I hope the system in America is going to consider that and make things work for the middle class in America before it's too late. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.